What's going on, YouTube? V here. So I have my Altergeist deck that I play that got me day 2. I played the full event of the YCS 200th in Columbus, Ohio. In this video, I'm gonna go over my whole deck, main side extra. I'm gonna give you the reasons why I played certain cards, as well as my tournament report. I wrote down every round and for the most part what happened throughout those rounds. And I had a great time playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I had a great time with a lot of these players, and I really enjoyed this event a lot. And I've never made day 2 ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been playing since the game came out. I went to many events, including Shonen Jumps as well as current YCS events, and this is the first time I made day 2, and I feel like Altergeist is a very good deck and a very highly underrated deck. Everyone was focusing on Sky Strikers and True Dracos, that they really didn't have a chance to focus on the many things this deck could do. I played against a lot of great players that were playing top tier decks that were reading my cards late into the last round even, just because a lot of players were just sleeping on this deck, I felt like. So let's go over the main deck first. I'm going to go over the deck and I'll give you my exact reasonings. I made a deck file not long ago, but I'm going to have some updated information, so I'll go over everything and show you guys about that, as well as, like I said before, tell you the different changes and my tournament report, and maybe at the end of all this, what I would change or modify in the future. Okay, so right off the gate, we have 3 Altergeist Melloseek. I'm not going to go over exactly what each of these cards do. I'm pretty sure you guys, if you're looking at a deck file on YouTube, you know what Melloseek does, or you know what Marionetta does. You know the deck, so I'm not going to explain it to you guys. Should be able to know this. Up next is Altergeist Marionetta. 3 of them, of course. 3 Altergeist Melloseek. 2 Altergeist Sequitas. As well as 1 Altergeist Kinkuri. So that's the whole Altergeist lineup monster-wise. For hand traps, I ran 3 Ghost Ogres, 2 Ghost Reapers, 2 Drawn Lockbird, and 2 Ash Blossoms. If we want to include some hand traps going into my regular traps, I also ran 3 Infinite Permanents. For the rest of my traps, it's 3 Personal Spoofings, 2 Altergeist Manifestation, 2 Altergeist Protocol, 2 Evenly Matched, 2 Rivalry of Warlords, and 1 Imperial Order. For my spells, 2 Power Desires, 2 Power Duality, as well as 1 1-for-1. Okay, so I'm going to take all this, also store all this aside for now. We'll talk about this in a minute. Let's go right into the extra deck. Another thing I did for the event, I brought a Sky Striker Ace token. Due to the fact that I play Kagari as a cherry target, I wanted to have the Ace token. This does a lot of things, and I'll probably talk about this in a little bit and how important this was and how this actually is a very useful tactic that you can legally use as long as you have the corresponding card. And if you don't have the corresponding card, you might want to double check with your tournament organizers. But once again, I'll talk about this in a few. So I had Link Karibo, 3 Altergeist Hextia, 1 Firewall Dragon, 1 Cerebus, 1 Phoenix, 1 Akashic Magician, 1 Nigirisu, 1 Shizuku, 1 Kagari, 1 Isold, 1 Unicorn, and my last 2 cards are Raybaptor Ultimate Falcon and Invoke Mechaba. So that's a 41 card main deck. Obviously 15 side, 15 extra. Let's go over the side deck choices. It's going to be 1 Draw, 1 Ash, 1 Rivalry, 1 Early Match, double Heavy Storm Duster, double Red Reboot, double Solemn Strike, double Awaken the Dragon, and my last 3 is triple Dimensional Barrier. Okay, so let me go over the things about this deck and some things that might be different from many other Altergeist deck, in which I felt like was the best choices for this deck. Not only was it the best choices, but it really caught a lot of my opponents off guard. That's one thing you can do with Altergeist, catch people off guard. But before I begin my side, let me talk about this token really quickly. This is very important. So, I have a Sidewinder deck box by Ultimate Guard. I also have a regular Flippin' Tray. For this event, I decided to use my Sidewinder and just how, what it is. I don't like the ones that you touch and you have, whatever. Anyway, I would have to put my, in this event, your translations have to be out in the open. So I would lay them down here, face down, of course. And I would take this with my extra deck, and I would facing my opponent. You can legally still do this. This is a legal tactic, guys. What this tells your opponent is you're playing a Sky Striker Ace token. That's all it says. Now, before you go, hey man, it's kind of scummy, it's wrong, I am playing a Kagari. That's 1. 2, I want to have a token so my opponent, and I think at one point of the event, this actually happened, my opponent made a Sky Striker token, and he had no token. I just took my Sky Striker Ace token, and I let him use it. This is very important for this deck. I think it helps a lot. It also catches a lot of people off guard because they think you're playing Sky Strikers, Trickster Sky Strikers, Invoke Sky Strikers, everything Sky Strikers, but you're not playing Sky Strikers in the main. You have 2 in the extra deck, but the token is a very good tool that not only makes your opponent think you're playing something else, catches them off guard, but also something that when your opponent does not have a token, you can use. This is very important. You're playing at a big event. You do not want your opponent's tokens to go unaccounted for, because next thing you know, as you make a play to stop one play, he goes, oh, remember that magical token? Now it does this. So that's why I have this. This is very important for me. I actually want to get Scapegoat. I have Scapegoat tokens. I might want to put Scapegoat tokens in here. I'm debating on it, but this is a very useful tool. So since we're over here, we'll talk about the extra deck. I play Falcon, which I'll talk about later on. It's a very good card. Mechaba, this is all basic stuff. I think everyone knows this. The reason I had Kagari and Shizuku, because when I play Cherries, my opponent goes into Kagari, I'm getting rid of his Shizuku, and vice versa. I don't know if I'm going to play this in the future, and I think that I might just play Kagari only, and give my opponent, if my opponent does go into Kagari, I'll just give him that one Kagari, and he's not going to have 2. It's going to make it a little bit harder to play more, play his combos. I don't know, I'm like 50-50. I'm still going to test that out, actually. But one time with Shizuku and I hit a Shizuku, lost the game when I should have really hit Kagari, even though he had one on the field. So maybe I'm just a little bit butthurt from that. Akashic and Nugarusa were great cards all day long. Never went into them. I think I went to Akashic once, and then went to Unicorn afterwards, and I got value from all that. But for the most part, it wasn't huge. I was already winning. But the thing about these cards is this is still a very important card. I still would not take this out of the deck whatsoever. Unicorn and Cerberus are 2 cards I never went into, but once again, they're needed, and I know they are. Firewall Dragon, I didn't play any decks that I could really use this card against. What I mean by that is as a cherry target. I think I sided cherries in on 1 or 2 games, never saw it. 2 hit their Firewall Dragon, but it didn't matter. I still won those games. But any deck that's still using Firewall Dragons, whether it be the Goki variants, you're gonna want to use this card, as well as Trickster variants that may or may not play Scapegoats. They'll scale up, they'll try to OTK you, and if you hit the Firewall Dragon, as they're making their board, they're gonna have to go into a lesser play, and that's gonna put them at a really disadvantage. Even if it's Borrelord or Borisol Dragon, it's a huge disadvantage to be placed in, which will give you a huge major advantage. Now, of course, I played this, Linkuriboh, and 2 of the Hextia, but what I didn't do is play a 3rd Hextia. I was playing Prime Banshee. And I felt in this event, there's a chance, a small chance, but a chance nevertheless, that I was going to play against players that were going to run Dark Destroyer. Or I was going to play against players that were going to run, like I said, Borrelord or Borisol Dragon. And I wanted to have big beats on board. I wanted to have other ways as far as my deck, to get rid of those cards. But in the case of Borrelord Dragon, you just got to beat over him. And if I ran on 1 Hextia, or maybe even 2 Hextias, I want them to know that I have a 3rd one. Or I want them to see that they was to share with me, or think, or maybe have to, have them think that, okay, he has 1 Hextia, he can't double Hextia me. I still want to have that advantage. Prime Banshee is still a great card, don't get me wrong. I may play it for regionals, but for a YCS or a bigger event, I think Hextia is more of a consistent card that you always want to have. Not having Hextia in your deck, besides the mirror match, is huge. Besides the mirror match, I don't really care about it because I get my ghost. I got winner trades for my Hextia in one of my mirror matches, and it didn't face me whatsoever. It's a really bad card to have in the mirror match. So D-Barrier is huge for me because I feel like invoked variants are running around, and D-Barrier is just a blowout card. Also, I know, and I don't feel like many Yu-Gi-Oh players realize this, but I know Pendulums is still a thing. They're still really good. Jerry Mitchell, the actual Pendulum God, is a very good Yu-Gi-Oh player. And playing against any Yu-Gi-Oh player besides Jeremy that runs Pendulums, well, including Jeremy actually, I'm sorry, I want to have D-Barrier for. So it's invoked as well as invoked variants as well as Pendulums, which are still a factor. D-Barrier is a blowout card, and after you D-Barrier, you can go multi-faker. Like, that play is too strong. I stun your whole deck, and here's a card that you don't have to deal with. It's amazing. And I felt D-Barrier was a must-have in this deck. Up next, Waking the Dragon. So as you guys saw in my extra deck, I did play Radar After Ultimate Falcon. I felt like this was amazing. I won a game, all because my opponent hit Waking the Dragon. And I almost won and made top 64, because I got my Waking Dragon was popped, and I brought out Ultimate Falcon. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going into back row removal. That's their go-to play. Go back row removal, Twin Twisters, Heavy Storm Dusters. Get rid of the back row against Altergeist. Well, okay. You can do that, but I'm gonna be setting Waking the Dragon. So as you're trying to get rid of my back row, there's a chance you gotta deal with this card, which main decks can't deal with. Almost any deck in the meta has a huge issue, and maybe has to give a majority of the resources to even maybe deal with this card. All the time you're playing Waking the Dragons, you're getting your Altergeist Multi-Faker out, you're doing all these amazing plays, it just puts you in such a huge advantage. My only regret is that I did not play 3 Waking the Dragons. I really wanted to. I felt like this card was a huge success throughout this event, and I wish I played a 3rd one, because it definitely would have won me more games. Absolutely, hands down. It's unfortunate I only put 2 in. I was testing it out for this event, because I really didn't have a full grasp of how strong this card was. I didn't have much playtesting to do with this card, but I felt like if I put this card in, it would do great. I'm telling you right now, throughout the weekend, Waking the Dragon single-handedly won me games by itself. People would hit it, instantly scoop. It was that good. And I highly recommend if you are playing Altergeist to play 3 Waking the Dragons. Your opponent plays Red Reboot, it's not a big deal. You know, to be honest with you, they play from hand because they're losing 4s and light points, or your opponent's gonna play Twin Twisters, MST, any of the Sky Striker Popper cards, Afterburner and Jamming Wave. Anything to pop your back row, they're gonna hit your Waking the Dragons. The best way to stop Altergeist is popping back row. The best way for Altergeist to combat that is playing Waking the Dragon. It's hand in hand. I'm telling you right now, this card's going to 3 without a doubt in my mind. Up next, 2 Solemn Strikes. Now, I sided these in, but I didn't see them. I still think this card's a very good card. Great against Strikers. Great against almost every deck in the meta right now. A lot of decks aren't really about spamming the field super hard, besides the Goki variants. Every other deck has to dedicate a main summon, and if that main summon doesn't go through, that deck's going to be in trouble. So I felt 2 Solemn Strikes was more than enough. I did not want to play 3 because I did not want to open 2. It's that simple. I don't want to open 2 of this card at the same time, especially if I'm trying to maintain a better board state. 2 strikes is decent, but 2 strikes is the perfect number, but 2 in hand is not what you really want to do. That's why I have it like that. Up next, Red Reboot. So I still like this card, but I'm probably going to be taking this card out. I'm not too confident in Red Reboot. The reason why I'm not confident in Red Reboot is because I have 2 Heavy Storm Dusters, and they did the job way better than Red Reboot. I've never not once this event sided Red Reboot, even in the Altergeist Mirror match. Actually, I might have sided Red Reboot in the Altergeist Mirror match, but it didn't do much for me. Heavy Storm Duster is definitely the better card, and I'm probably going to play 3, unless my opponent plays some other silly stuff like, I don't know, Waking the Dragons. 1 Robbery, 1 Evenly, it's how it is. People ask me why I didn't main 3 evenly throughout the event. I don't want to draw, it's the same thing as Solemn Strike. I don't want to draw 2 of this card, because it puts me at a -1, where I will get advantage of this card. I might not necessarily need this card with a second time in the case of evenly match. Or with Strike, if we're into time and I'm siding, it's not really a benefit for me to play that card. It puts me too low in life points, where in this meta, you get whacked out by opponent if they're given 1 decent turn. As well as 1 Ash and 1 Draw. I might put Ghost Reaper back in. That's the card I took out. But other than that, I felt my side was really well put together. As far as main deck, I don't know if anything's different. Let me double check real quickly. Obviously, the monster count's the same. This is the same. Deck is 41, and 121 definitely is a card that's useful in it. I lost the game because of Imperial Order. I'll talk about that in a second. 2 Rivalry, same thing with Evenly, same thing with Strikes. 2 is the magic weird number of this deck in a weird way. Besides personal spoofing, which is search any card, the card. Infinite Permanence obviously is a card you need at 3. I'm seeing some of your players try to actually they can run evenly. You can, you just won't win as much. It's unfortunate. I want to play a 3rd Ash Blossom. I don't know what I'm going to do as far as that, but I think I really want to play 3rd Ash Blossom in this deck. 2 Draws was very good. I know a lot of you players were getting upset because you know, they felt Draw is not the best card. It's still a decent card. I might maybe cut it down to 1 and play a 3rd Ash, because I feel Ash is still much better due to the fact that Call by the Grave has been taken 2. The chances of your opponent stopping your hand trap is a little bit more limited. So I might actually go down to 1 Draw and side 2, main 1, and go 2 Ashes, which I'm gonna look towards in the future. Ghost Reaper Winter Chase was probably another card in my main deck, was one of the best cards in my main deck. A lot of times my opponent would start their combos and they wouldn't see it, and I would punish them so badly. And I feel like Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries is a card that is a really big card this format. The kid that won played Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries. It's just a strong card. A lot of you players aren't looking at this card right now, but I'm telling you right now, you're really going to want to get this card. And of course, 3 Ghost Ogres, which was, for the most part, not bad. It performed, it did what it was supposed to do. Okay, so I'm going to put all this out here like this. And then we're going to talk about, hold on, bleh. And then we're going to talk about my round by rounds. This event was 2,774 players. It's 9 rounds of Swiss and an average of 256 players top after day 1. What happened was it was roughly around 280 because they were all 19 points. It's 19 points or 256. There was 219 at the end of everything. The number went up to 280 players at day 2. Top 64 made in. Mexico had 2,420 players. Netherlands had roughly around 2,300 players. Round 1 started around 11 o'clock, and round 2 started at 12:30. There's a bit of confusion at this event as well. A lot of you players are confused. Why did it take longer? Like the round be over, and it'll be about 30 to 40 minutes before the next round starts. And why did it take so long? Well, to be honest with you, that's really good as far as timing wise. And let me explain. You have to realize Konami gets all the match slips. They insert it all into the system. They go over everything perfectly. They have to redo the pairings and then print those pairings out. And they don't come in little slips, so they print them out and cut them out for roughly around 2,774 of their closest friends. And after doing that, they have to distribute them equally amongst all the tables by number and to all the judges corresponding to those tables. Dead serious. It was 30 minutes, 40 minutes after the round time was called. That is a godsend in time. The event would easily have been a lot longer. I felt Konami handled this event really well. And trust me, I would have loved to go, man, Konami, but they really did a great job in this event. So round 1, I played against a good buddy named Donovan. Very nice guy. He played Paleo. Now, if you see this build, you look at my previous build, this was totally awesome. The night before, up until the time I was on the deck registration line with these cards in my hand, I wanted to lead totally awesome in my deck. What happens? I took it out. So game 1, he plays Frogs, and I had Reaper in hand, and I look over at my extra deck, and I have no totally awesome. I start laughing hysterically. I mean, guy, you know, how could you not laugh it out? He does set 5 back row and sets a, I believe, Rodentone in defense mode and face-up defense, and I was able to evenly match him and win that game. And game 2 was a grind, a really big grind, but ultimately I was able to take it from my friend Donovan. Thank you for playing, Donovan. Round 2, I played against. I'm sorry, I'm just looking over here. Round 2, I played against Dracos that ran Inspector Border in the main deck. Now, that was amazing. That took me off guard. Inspector Border summoned first turn. I had all the hand traps to stop him. He went Terraform, Card Demise, Power Duality, Power Desires, all in one turn, and there was nothing I could do. Obviously, he won in game 2. All the back row, all day long. And unfortunately, I only played 2 Waking the Dragons. Had I played a 3rd Waking the Dragon, he would never have had an answer for that. I would have won that game. That's how important that card was in the match against True Dracos. I think I'm dead serious right now. Call me the Altergeist God, boys, because this is my baby. So he won down. I'm 1-1. I'm not feeling so good, but at the same time, I got a long event to go, boys, and I'm playing one of my babies. This deck is I love this deck, so I'm riding with my baby, and it's going good. So I don't care. I'm still in it. Round 3, I played against. I'm trying to remember. I had to write. I couldn't write the names. I had to do it really quickly. I believe it was Spirals. It was a relatively quick win. We did play only 2 games, and my the Spiral deck has been very powered down, you know, a lot. So I was able to easily take that game, luckily, because I drew the right cards. Very nice kid, though. Had a playmate of his father. Like, how it was his father, like petting a deer, and I thought that was really sweet. Nice kid, by the way. I remember we start the game. I'll go 41 card main. Here's my translation. Here's my side, showing him everything. And he goes, I'm playing Spirals. And I'm like, he gotta be messing with me. He takes his whole extra deck and he tells it to me. He goes, no, look here, look at this. Look at this, look at this, look at this. And I'm like, oh, I'm playing Altergeist. Here, look at mine. I didn't know what to do. And he was a nice kid. And I had to play him with his father. He was a very sweet kid. Round 4, I can't see what I was playing. Oh, it was the mirror match. Okay. So in the mirror match in round 4, I lose game 1 because damn, man, I felt so embarrassed about this one. I played Imperial Order like turn 1 against, no, turn 2 against my opponent. And he didn't do nothing except watch me die. I mean, there's nothing you can do at that point. Imperial Order in a mirror match is, God, I don't know why. I think he desires. I didn't want the desires, so I could have won. I know I could have won, but Imperial Order, boys, it just, sometimes you win. For me, I always lose with it. In game 2 was a quick win. I was easily able to make a great board. And in game 3, he only did 1,800 to me, 800 damage to me, and after that, I just turned it around and I took it. I'm very good at the Altergeist mirror match. I practice it a lot. For everyone that has any question about the Altergeist mirror match, basically he who controls Altergeist Marionetta and Altergeist Protocol controls that mirror match. And if you know about that, if you know that you need to do that, you'll baby and love and do whatever it takes to hold those cards in. That's what I did. and it easily let me control the mirror match. It was a very quick game. Very nice guy though. Once again, a lot of these duels, none of them were really jerks. Everyone was really nice, and they were having a great time. And it was phenomenal how this event was done. Round 5, I don't know what I played actually. I don't think I have anything. I wrote a little chicken scratch. But Waking the Dragons won. Did I lose this one? Maybe I lost this one. I don't know. Oh, okay. It went to time. I had Waking the Dragons out, but unfortunately, I was lower in life points, I believe. Yeah, I was at 38 to 79, so I didn't win that one because of life points. But you know, time rulings. I'm sorry about some of this, guys. Like I said, I tried to write this quickly. So I don't know. I just tried to do it quickly because I want to have a cigarette. Round 6 was against Strikers. It was he was running Strikers with dinosaurs. Really interesting build he had there. Game 1, he took it. I mean, savaged me. I sided in game 2 easily. I easily just came back and savaged him back with 8,000. It was 8,000 him game 1, 8,000 me game 2. And then in game 3, he did about 1,500 damage to me. And after that, I just once again the deck side. This deck side is so strong. You can attune yourself to any deck in the meta. I feel like that. I could be wrong, but I feel this deck is very good at attuning itself to any deck in the meta. That's what I did against a lot of my matchups. When I went into game 3, the side said, "Don't worry about it. We're gonna get 2 and 3," and that's what happened in a lot of these games. Going into round 7, I played against Crusader. It's probably my favorite match of the day. The guy was an amazing guy, very nice guy. You could tell he knew what he was doing. He took a bet, and his bet was he played his favorite deck, which is Altergeist, by the way, against 20 of his friends' decks. And if he won all games, against this group, he'll be the best player. And he won 19 and lost to 20 of 1. So he had to play what they said, which was Crusaders. And to be honest with you, he piloted amazingly. Game 1, I won it. He did no damage to me. I just went in there and I just created too big a board that he just couldn't control. Game 2, one punch me. He two-punched me. I'm sorry. He two-punched me right in the face. Got to his kaijus and just rolled me. Game 3 was a grind match. Okay. I didn't side in rivalries. My third rivalry in game 3. I wish I did. I don't. Sometimes, especially in round 7, I'm exhausted. You don't really have time to think. It's really hard, but I did. I sided in rivalry in game 3, and that helped me win the game. Had me at 200 life points. But unfortunately, if you don't kill Altergeist, you can have me at 100 life points. I'm gonna get you. And that's what happened with this deck. It was really, really cool. Round 8 was against, it was Kaiju Tricksters, I believe. It was Mech Knight, Tricksters, Kaijus. And we only played the one game. And he got me down 2,900 life points. But we were starting to go into time. And even though I wanted to finish the duel properly, I wanted to finish at least that game properly, unfortunately, time ended with him being at 900 life points. I really wanted to finish that duel. It was an exciting duel. I was really enjoying it. I had a great time, and the guy's a very nice guy, very good competitive player. At one point, and I feel a little bit, I feel a little embarrassed about this, if I want to be honest with you guys. At one point, I had to call a judge because his plays weren't 100%. They weren't 100% proper, and you know, like I said, I feel embarrassed. I hate calling judges for people for misconducting plays, but he missed a play and got a warning. We did get a time extension. I'm not sure if we got a time. We should have got a time extension. I don't know why we didn't. Anyway, unfortunately, he got a warning for that, and I felt embarrassed, but it's at the YCS 200, you have to do everything properly, and unfortunately, I had to do this, and I felt sick to my stomach, because normally, even in regionals, I just don't care. I'm going to win. I'm going to get my invite. I want to have a good time, but in this event where the stakes were a lot higher, I had to go ahead and contact the judge, let the judge know about this incident. He got a warning. We continued playing, and ultimately time ended in which we couldn't finish our match, and I would have loved to because I wanted to really win this one. And then my last round was against my buddy, Mr. Rivera. Okay, he was playing Sky Strikers. Game 1, we grinded, but he got it. If you don't, Sky Strikers are kind of like Altergeist, but it's a spelled version of Altergeist, in which people, Sky Strikers would, if you don't kill them, they're gonna come back. And same with Altergeist. If you don't kill me, I don't need much to come back. People might say Sky Strikers are better. I disagree with that. I think Altergeist is better. Just because you have a blanket card doesn't make your deck better. My deck literally is all about control, where your deck is about very little control, but more blanket cards to get to that little bit of control. You understand? Anyway, so he got game 1. I won game 2 in time. I believe time was called when I had... No, I won game 2, and then we went to time, and time was called literally... We had like 8 seconds, and he's like, man, I really got a side deck. I'm like, man, me too. Like, we looked at each other, and we're like, not for nothing. I was about to apologize because I got a side deck with 10 seconds. I'm like, I'm sorry, I really have the side deck. I know certain cards I don't... I think I had a Reaper in there that I just didn't want in there. He went to apologize too, and unfortunately went to time. He's like, you know what, whatever, man. We both made day 2. We shook hands on it, and that was something I really did enjoy. A really nice guy from New York, actually. We met each other. I think I met him years ago, and then we just re-met each other, I believe, because we used to go to the same locals. You guys ever went to New York? Little locals called Neutral Ground. Okay, so in the next day, round 1, the next day, I called it round 10, but it was round 1. I played against Sky Strikers. Now. This was a bit of a upsetting one because I felt like I would have won this one. He had Shizuku on his board. He popped my Wicked Dragons, okay, and I had Ultimate Falcon and I had Meloseek. So let me just give you guys a little bit from a reference. I had Meloseek and Ultimate Falcon. I had also Multi-Faker face up. I had some back row. He had some back row, but time was called in the round. I mean, I'm sorry. Time was winding down the clock. He had this with 2 cards in his hand. The mini Palm American Dragon saw this. He was debating. He was, yeah, you know, I don't want to say that word, but you know what I'm saying, guys. He was, you know, he was looking over some cards, maybe checking, you know, time's going low in the round. That's on board. Let me see. I got the check spring out. Just one second. Let me just see something. And end phase went to search. While he was searching, end phase, looking through his whole entire deck, reading the cards, I said, listen, I have this and this. Attack directly or beat your guy down. Do you have an answer to this? If you have an answer, I will give you the win. Because if you can answer this, you obviously will have... I have nothing else. You would clean my field out, and I would lose. You know, you would be able to attack me if you have the answer for these. If you don't have anything, I have the answer, and with this attack alone, would guarantee me the win. He goes, well, I got to search my deck and see what I can do to stop this card. And I go, and he goes, is it unaffected by card effects? And I'm like, by other card effects, yes. So unfortunately, he ended it. I didn't even get the chance to draw, and time was called, and we tied. Unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. He won round 1. He won game 1. I won game 2, and that is the case. Round 2. But let me just emphasize real quickly. I wasn't upset at him. I was upset about the situation, and I even explained that to him. And he wasn't, you know, I didn't have a fit in like that. This is the rules, and this is the nature of the game. We can complain about it, but this is what it is. So instead of complaining about it, accepting it for what it is and moving forward is a better way to do it. You're not going to scream and yell and change the way someone is. You're not going to throw a fit and change the way someone is. And I felt like that would have... So I shook his hand afterwards. I talked to him. He was a very nice kid, and I understood why, you know, why he was put in that position. I didn't blame him for that. You know, one of my favorite wrestlers, Booker T, always used to say, don't wait to play, hate the game. And in this game, the timing, the rulings is something I don't fully agree with, but I accept. And I think that a lot of players at this event was complaining about that, but that's one thing I just never really complained about. Round 2 was Goki Heroes. I 2-0'd this kid, and the reason why I 2-0'd this kid is because even though I fully didn't understand what Goki Heroes did, I did understand that I was not going to lose this damn deck. I had all the right answers. My deck's made to beat regular Gokis, and Goki Heroes is an amazing extension. He did play a very good card. I'm trying to remember the card. He played Magical Midfield Breaker, but it didn't matter against my Altergeist deck because the deck doesn't. If the deck cannot be aggressive in manipulating your opponent's field, it can easily be defensive in manipulating its own field to put a better position to stop your opponent's field. And that's what I felt like my deck did in that situation. I literally, within one card, I stopped and I turned the way I played, changed the way I played my deck, and it worked out phenomenally and ultimately gave me the win in this situation. In round 3, because I think it was like round 12, whatever. But in round 3, I played against a Sky Striker player, and this was a great match. We played 3 games. I'm sorry. Game 1, I easily took it. Because I hit his Kagari. First turn, he goes into not Shizuku, the green Sky Striker, so I forgot already. But I hit his Kagari the minute he did that, and ultimately that won me the game that quickly. In game 2, we grinded, but he outgrinded better than I could outgrind. I didn't draw all my cards to get a better field, whereas he did, and that helped him out substantially. And then in game 3, I think I just had better life points than him. Time was unfortunately called. I did have a better board. I felt if the game did continue going, I would have won. But I really, like I said, I really wanted to play a lot of these players. But I know, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, you know, round 3, day 2, that everyone's exhausted. Everyone's exhausted from the night before. I go, can we just play it out, have fun? I felt like a lot of these players were just exhausted. So I then asked them, hey, can we just play it out? Because I would love to see how a lot of these matches went. But I understand everyone's tired, everyone's hungry, everyone has, you know, other side events they wanted to go to. So I just shook his hand, said thank you, and I really wanted to play it out, but unfortunately we couldn't. But one thing he did in Game 3 that I really was impressed by, and I want to relay to you guys is, in Game 1 he remembered that I Reapered his Kagari. He remembered that, okay? So what he did was, he saw the Reapers in and drew it on Game 3. So the minute I summoned a monster, he Reapered my Kagari, okay? Looked at my whole extra deck, got all that information, knew about the Awakening Dragons that I had in my hand. I don't think he knew I had in my hand, but now he knows that I play Awakening Dragons, unless somehow I go into like Raid Raptors. And he amazingly hit my Kagari, got all my information in my extra deck within 1 card. I was really blown away by the next level gaming that was played. Even though I won the match, that play really caught me off guard. Ultimately, I went X-2-2. I made 197th place. Had I won Game 1 on day 2, had it was a full win, had I had extra 30 seconds, I felt I would easily made top 64. And no offense to everybody in the top 64, I would have easily won the tournament because I am the best Altergeist player, hands down. Altergeist God, Chair King. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching my video. Thank you for staying long for this second file and tournament report. I had a great time at the YCS 200. Guys, I'll see you at YCS 400.